Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, thanks a lot for joining in the Watchlist program at magentatrade.com. Welcome. Today is 1st of June and Wednesday afternoon. And thanks a lot for joining in the Magenta Trade Watchlist program. At this Watchlist program, we go through some of the stocks that we have picked up in as part of our Watchlist program. And we review them, how they are going in terms of the market value and in terms of our positions as well. At Magenta Trade, we teach you how to grow your portfolio using option trading strategies. We explain in simple terms how you can anticipate in the world-leading the movement in the market and participate in the world-leading companies with a fraction of the amount that you'd need as normal investment. In the vast ocean of stock market, there are plenty of opportunities to gain from the movement of share prices every day. However, market is unpredictable, volatile, and sometimes complex to understand. In order to be successful, you need a disciplined, rule-based approach developed over a long period of experience in the market and focused on building a long-term portfolio to protect your hard-earned money. But before I progress anymore, let me take you through our disclosures. Let me share my screen. Okay, here it is. All our discussions at Magenta Trade are solely for educational and informational purposes only. We are not investment advisors, and you should consult a financial advisor before making any investments. Options trading involve exceptional gains, but at the same time, they pose inherent risks. Past results are no guarantee of future gains. For more disclosures, you can visit our website, www.magentatrade.com. A few words about me. I've been actively trading for more than 15 years now, and I have turned my personal trading experience and passion into professional coaching. We have formed this company, Magenta Trade, to help you with my strategies in strategy of success in trading using simple terms and techniques. My favorite areas of coaching are trade management and money management. I have experienced immense potential of trading options based on stocks and ETFs, and I help you understand how they might help you build a steady and reliable retirement income stream. As a coach, I focus on a daily routine, follow simple rule-based strategy, use simple tools to enter and exit the trades, and manage your positions in 15-20 minutes every day. Okay, let's quickly jump on to some of the earnings numbers that we have for you. Let me quickly check a few things before that. Okay, and let me take you through the earnings. The first one I would like you to show is Salesforce. And in Salesforce, the reported April 2022 earnings of 98 cents per share on revenue of $7.4 billion, whereas the expectation was 94 cents per share on a revenue of a similar $7.54 billion. However, the overall expectation from the next quarter, the guidance in terms of the next quarter has been very positive, and as a result, the share is currently up by 10%. Revenue grew 24.3% year-on-year basis. The company said it expects the second quarter earnings, non-GAAP earnings of $1.01 to $1.02 per share on a revenue of $7.69 billion to $7.7 billion. The company also said it expects fiscal 2023 non-GAAP earnings of $4.74 to $4.76 per share on a revenue of $31.7 to $31.8 billion. Then the company's previous guidance was earnings of $4.62 to $4.64 dollars per share for a revenue of $32 billion to $32.1 billion. As you know, Salesforce provides enterprise cloud computing solutions offering social and mobile cloud apps and platform services, as well as professional services to facilitate the adoption of its solutions. They are the world leading solutions in terms of customer relationship management, and they are an indispensable application or software, I would say, in today's world for most of the big retailers or the websites. It's a blessing, I would say. It's a very good software, and they have got a kind of a monopoly in that market. So in that way, I feel they have got a strong command over the market and with consistent flow of orders. And that's been reflected in their reports as well. They have specifically mentioned that they have $42 billion worth of remaining performance obligation. That is including in the application they have recently acquired, called Slack, and that is a chatting kind of platform, messaging platform, but it is a secure platform based on based on the application level, or I would say enterprise level security, and it is mostly used by internal messaging of the companies. So that Slack was acquired last year, and this $42 billion worth of remaining performance obligation includes the Slack as well. But that is a very small proportion. Anyways, so that is a tremendous, can say, backlog they have over a year's worth of orders, or over a year's worth of turnover is in their commitment as a performance obligation. So that means they have received the money in advance for that period, and for that much of turnover. So that's a tremendous cushion for any business, I would say. They have generated almost $13.5 billion worth of cash in the first quarter. Sorry, in the last 12 months. And cash generated from operations in the first quarter was $3.68 billion. Okay, now let's go through some other numbers. Subscription and support revenue for the quarter were $6.86 billion, an increase of 24% year on year. Professional services and other revenues for the quarter were $0.56 billion, an increase of 30% year on year. And first quarter GAAP operating margin was 0.3%, whereas first quarter non-GAAP operating margin was 17.6%. So that was a very good numbers, I would say, in comparison to previous quarters, or in comparison to the current market conditions. And considering that the market has taken the result very positively, the share is up by more than 10% now. The next one we have is Weibo Corporation, and let me show you the numbers. Weibo Corporation reported their March 2022 earnings of 47 cents per share on revenue of $484.6 million. The expectation was 42 cents per share on revenue of $473.9 million. Revenue grew 5.6% a year-on-year basis, and the stock is currently up by around 1% or so, I guess. Yeah. Weibo Corp is a social media platform for people to create, distribute, and discover Chinese language content. In terms of some of the other numbers, Weibo's total net revenues were $484.6 million, an increase of 6% compared to $458.9 million for the same period last year. Advertising and marketing revenues for the first quarter of 2022 were $427.1 million, an increase of 10% compared to $390 million for the same period last year. Monthly active users were 582 million in March 2022. Non-GAAP net income attributable to Webber was $132.9 million, and non-GAAP diluted net income per share was 56 cents per share. VAS revenues for the first quarter of 2022 were $57.5 million, and a decrease of 17% year on year. Net loss attributable to Webber for the first quarter of 2022 was $67.5 million. Net operating loss for the first quarter of 2022 was $163.5 million. The stock is currently up by 1%. The next one we have in our list is Capri Holdings Limited. Capri Holdings Limited announced their fourth quarter March 2022 earnings of $1.02 per share on a revenue of $1.5 billion. Expectation was 82 cents per share on revenue of $1.4 billion. The stock is currently up by 2.28%. Revenue grew 24.6% year on year. The company said it expects the first quarter earnings of approximately 1.35 cents per share on revenue of approximately $1.3 billion, and fiscal 2023 earnings of approximately $6.85 per share on revenue of approximately $5.95 billion. Capri Holdings Limited is a global fashion luxury group consisting of iconic brands that are industry leaders in design, style, and craftsmanship. Revenue increased 24.6% with better than anticipated results across all three luxury houses. Adjusted gross margin expanded 20 basis points versus prior year. Adjusted operating margin expansion of 230 basis points to 14.2%. Adjusted earnings per share of $1.02. Net inventory at 2nd April 2022 was $1.096 billion, a 48.9% increase compared to the prior year. Okay, let's go back to the markets now. What's happening? We can quickly have a look. S&P 500 is now only 6 points lower. Earlier, it was down significantly. It almost went to the low of Friday, I would say. Yeah, so it almost went to the low of Friday at 4077. Today's low was 4073. And but now it is back up, and currently it is at 4124, 4125. As you can see, it has broken out. The S&P 500 index has broken out from the bearish channel that it was it was under previously. As you can see, for the last many weeks, it has been a volatile trading, and there was a consistent trend of bearish trend in the market for probably almost a couple of months. But then it broke out last week, and currently it is above the 30 days weighted moving average that we have here, the curvy line. And well, it's not yet a bullish pattern as of now, but for the time being, probably it might continue at this level, or maybe a sideways movement, a sideways, movement may be there for the next, few days, or few weeks. I'm not sure, but at this stage, that bearish channel, it has come out of that bearish channel. So that is a major change in terms of the price movement there for S&P 500 and all the stocks therein. A similar pattern is there in case of NASDAQ as well. NASDAQ is down by 6 points, and Dow is currently down by 69 points with a similar kind of pattern. Today's low was at 32,584 after opening, and it was a strong opening today, but then it went down and it went up to 32,584 level, which was below the low of Friday. So it is a higher high today and higher low in comparison to both yesterday and Friday. So that's why I feel that it's probably kind of a sideways pattern that might follow. So now let's if we try to draw something here, sometimes I like drawing. So if we'd like to draw here, probably starting from here, and then maybe here, I'm not sure. The price could probably stay in between these lines, and I would probably, this was a major support line, and what I'll do, I'll just remove this line so that we can follow this this channel for a sideways movement. Let's see whether the price is probably movements in this oscillates between these lines. DPO is minus 375 for Dow, and for S&P 500 it is minus 61. So let's see. Similarly, we will draw the lines for S&P 500 as well to monitor how the market is progressing, and if at all it remains is this particular channel, the middle line, which was the major support line, I will remove that now. Now, in terms of if we also would like to draw something additional, maybe we can draw the fib retracement from here to here, and then so the 38.2% line was here, 4126. So currently it is at 4119, very similar level, 32.2% levels, and yeah, it is quite possible that it goes back to a 50% level here, which is at 4223. Okay, so these are some of the interesting things there. Let's see whether it keeps on that those levels or not. Now let's look at some of the other things. VIX is down by 0.3%, and dollar index is actually up by 0.69%. In terms of gold, gold is also up by 0.6%. Silver is up by 1.7%, and oil is more or less flat today. Bitcoin is down by 4.5% almost, and Ethereum is down by 5% as well. In terms of stocks, Advanced Auto Parts is more or less flat, down by 0.18%. Apple is down up by 4.4%, and Accenture is up by 0.76%. I'm pretty sure that due to the positive result of CRM, which is Salesforce, some of these companies like Accenture and Apple and Netflix, they would also probably have some positive momentum in the price for a day or two. Amazon is up by 2.4% after yesterday's gain as well. Other stocks are more or less similar, not much movement today. This Digital Turbine is down by 21%. Let's have a look at that. Those earnings report. Earnings were not that bad, whereas the revenue was significantly lower, whereas the earnings per share was as per expectation. However, the revenue was significantly down. As per expectation, the revenue was $301.12 million, whereas the actual is $184 million. Digital Turbine reported their March quarter 2022 earnings of 39 cents per share. And the company said it expects the first quarter non-GAAP earnings of 34 cents to 35 cents per share on revenue of $183 million to $187 million. So the revenue is continue to be lower than the prior quarter. Digital Turbine is the leading independent mobile growth platform and levels up the landscape for advertisers, publishers, carriers, and original equipment manufacturers. Fiscal 2022 non-GAAP earnings per share of $1.66 increased 124% year on year. Fiscal 2022 non-GAAP adjusted earnings before interest, tax, and depreciation of $195.2 million increased 158% year on year. Fiscal year 2022 revenue totaled $747.6 million, representing a 138% increase year on year on a as a reported basis. I'll switch off my video so that you can see the complete screen there. I didn't realize that earlier, but now I have. GAAP net income for the fiscal fourth quarter of 2022 was $20.1 million or 19 cents per share. Okay, so that's a Digital Turbine with their results. In terms of some other shares, HP is up by 4% today. HPQ, there's a strong growth of 4% today. And they have also announced their earnings today. Actually, it is yesterday after market hours, and April 2022 quarter's earnings of $1.08 per share on revenue of $16.5 billion. Expectation was about $1.07 per share. Revenue grew 3.9% year-on-year basis. The company said it expects the third quarter earnings of $1.03 per share to $1.08 per share, and expects a fiscal year earnings of $4.24 per share to $4.38 per share. It's a little bit higher than the previous earning guidance as such. And in terms of GAAP net revenue is up by 3.9%. Non-GAAP operating margin is 8.8%, and non-GAAP net earnings is $1.2 billion at the same level as a year ago. Non-GAAP diluted net earnings per share is $1.08. The company said we delivered a strong quarter of revenue and non-GAAP earnings per share growth while returning significant capital to shareholders. Okay, so that's about HP. Let's see if there are any other significant movements today. So as you know, there is a significant supply chain issue in terms of the infant formula in the market. And in order to address that, the US authorities are considering import from other countries, including from Australia and UK. So that probably would boost some of the local supply, and probably the crisis would be managed in the weeks to come. Okay. Some other shares probably see is a Delta. Delta Airlines. The stock is down by almost 5% today, after the airline said it expects the sales in the current quarter to return to pre-pandemic levels. Delta Airlines said greater travel demand from consumers who are willing to pay higher ticket fares helped offset the spike in energy prices. In terms of some of the travel stocks, Norwegian Cruise Lines and United Airlines, they fell more than 6%. Airbnb lost 4%, and Wynn Resorts slipped by 2% today. Okay. Let's look at our list of stocks there. If there are any other major movements. Salesforce, we mentioned, based on their earnings report, it's up by 10%. Chivi is down by 4%. Chegg is down by 2.8%. And Citigroup is down by 1.3%. Crocs is up by 2.6%. Dell is up by 2.6% there. They had a good earnings report earlier as well. Not today, but earlier on last week. GoodRx is still down by 5%. Has not recovered from the previous lows. Google is up by 0.6%, 0.6%. Pinterest is up, down by 2.8%. Nvidia is down by 1.4%. Teladoc is down by 3.7%. Upstart is down by 8.2%. VRT, Vertiv Holdings is down by 6% today. Okay. Let me see if any of our orders executed in the market yesterday. Trade history. Last 7 days, Apple and AMD only. So that's fine. This one was let me quickly check when were they executed. Yeah, that May 7. Right. So nothing executed yesterday for the orders that we placed. I'm not sure why they're not getting executed. Some of the orders in my personal trading account are getting executed, but I'm not sure why in this account they are not getting executed. What's the issue? Probably I need to find out. Okay, so that's the status here. Let's check if we can find some trades here. Microsoft is currently at 273. So probably we can see something around 250 if it is available. Let's see, July. Go here to option chain. Well, in this show, mainly I go through the options strategies. So let's say July 15 for Microsoft. $250 put levels. It's currently at 15 delta. So if we sell 250 and buy 245 for, no, not for June 24. I need July 15. Okay, so that is still 83 cents credit for a spread of $5, which is pretty good. And the delta is actually 21 for 250. I think this can be traded. 250 is far away from 273 current levels. So almost can say 10% point from here. So let's take this trade, submit the order, 83 cents, and let's see whether it gets executed or not. We can check again. Order in the market with 83 cents. I'm willing to go to probably 80 cents. in order to get this trade executed. It's not happening, but let's leave it to that, the market, and see whether it gets executed or not. Okay, let's meanwhile find out some other trades if we can. Unity Software is down significantly. Let's say CRM. Why not do some CRM trade today? CRM is up, and actually, I'm pretty can say positive about this stock. Very optimistic about this stock, and this particular level seems to be pretty reasonable support, 155 or 154. So let's find out if we can find any trade on 154 level or 155 level. CRM. Even though the credit is probably low, but still, if it is, this is 16 delta. If we sell 155 and buy 150, and let's see, still 70 cents. So that is pretty good. 155, 150, more than 10% from here, obviously, because the stock is up by 11% today. So 70 cents credit. Let's go for that. I have placed the order. Let's see whether it gets executed or not. Salesforce, sell to open 155, put option, and buy to open 150, put option, expiry July 15, and we are looking for 70 cents. Let's see whether we can make some profits out of these. So that's about these two stocks. Let's go back to the index. Actually, what's happening, because the things could be moving pretty fast there. S&P 500 is now down by 13 points, so it is coming down again, and Dow is down by 95 points there. In terms of the stocks, let's say some of the stocks, leading stock, how they are behaving, like say Apple. Apple volume is currently 54 million, which is less than half of the average volume there. So that is quite significant. What's the broker platform says there? I'll probably check some other platform. Let's say Apple. Current volume is 57.7 million shares. In terms of, say, Tesla, the volume is 22.38 million. I'm trying to understand the strength of the market. based on the index is down by, let's say, 13, 14 points, S&P 500, but that's not the important thing. Probably the more important thing is how much is the volume supporting that. And if the volume is weak and the price is going down, then probably there is not enough interest in the market to push the price ahead. Um, the major concern today is, I think, the economic growth, um, in terms of these supply chain issues, and in terms of um, the prospects or the guidance of most of these companies, where the revenue is going to be lower than expected in the coming 12 months. So that's a major concern there, on the back of, again, high inflation and the interest rate hike and other factors as well. Okay, Tesla is down by 1.7%, and that is significantly down from the in terms of the average volume as well. Okay, let's look at Amazon. Big stocks. Amazon is with a good volume today, so that is pretty good. It is actually more than the average 10 days average there. Actually, oh, okay. So maybe this is the reason that there is this, on 6th of June, the stock is expected to be split. So maybe that is the reason there. For Amazon stocks to go up. That's right. So maybe we can look at a position there on Amazon. Um, let's see. If we get a contract of, let's say, the bottom here, 2027. So let me find out some trade out of there. So the level we were looking at, 20, let's say 2025, which is the 52-week low level, and or maybe a little bit higher. Let's say 2025. Can we find something? 2025 is actually very low delta, 0.7. So we may not get any trade over there, but let's say something around 20 delta, which is 2200. Well, 17 delta, 2200 level. Let me see in terms of the chart. 2200 is above that support, that line. Okay. So if we consider something around 2200, which is below 3 days low, just in the middle of 4 days of low. So 2200, let's say we sell by 2195. What's going on? 78 cents. 2200 to 2195. Okay, so that I'm looking for June. I should look for something. So this is June 24. Yeah, that's good. 78 cents, 2200. Almost 10% away from here. with the stock split coming up, I think this is all right. Again, still $5 spread only, so we can go with it. 78 cents. So Amazon sell to open 2,200 put option and buy to open 2195. Expiry is June 24. And what we are looking for here is a price of 70 cents probably. None of the trades are getting executed at 75 cents maybe. Fine. Okay, so that's about it. Probably we are looking at the end of today's session. Let's see if any other trade I would like to do here. Salesforce is really up. Earlier we had some positions in Salesforce. In tomorrow's session, maybe we'll look into some of the long-term positions based on market conditions. Maybe we can look into some long-term positions. We'll look at some of those prospects. Okay, so do join us back then, and we'll probably finish here today. Thanks a lot for joining once again. If you like our channel, subscribe to the channel in YouTube. You can also follow us in the social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So keep on looking at our updates there in the social media channels and keep following us. Thanks a lot, and see you there tomorrow.